It's Atlanta's #1 hip-hop station, Hot 107.9 at home for the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Of course, you know it's your fault, Beehive. Radio, shouty, stepping in the building.
Yeah.
I got a guy whose lyrical ability literally jumps out the gym. Nick Grant, what's good with it, my dog?
What's up, man? How you feeling?
I mean, feeling good, feeling
Man,
great.
thank you so much for having me, brother.
Man, you already know what it is. You came bearing gifts. I mean, you came with the bars
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
Zoom in on this thing, JG. I mean, this guy literally got bars on and off the studio. Man, talk to me about this marketing campaign, though.
Man, you know, just something for the tangible thing for the people to love and enjoy. Take them back to the old days, you know, with the Big Mac.
That's right. That's
that
right.
thing, just a little, a little gift for the people.
Already. Now, I mean, this ROTC, man.
Yeah.
Let's get straight to it. Return of the cool. I mean, what makes you so cool, Nick?
Oh man, I it's not even about me, my brother. It's all about, like, I use the term "the cool" to describe what I feel like hip hop should be present day, based on the people that I grew up listening to.
Ooh.
So the cool just describes, what hip hop is and what it should be right now, and I just live in that and live off the people that inspire me, and just pretty much just carrying on tradition.
That's right.
I just hope this project gives off the same vibe as the previous one, 88.
Exactly.
It's like a natural progression. So I just want people to love it, and I want people to enjoy it, and gear up for what I feel like is to come, which I feel like is my next project that I'm working on now. But right now it's Return of the Cool. It's just showing people that I can rap, I can do this, I can make hit records, I can give you everything you want. But the next step is my story, and you can buy into that.
Coming off of that 88, though, man, I mean, you traveled the world.
Yeah.
You feel me? I mean, how did that affect this ROTC?
Just off the mixtape, just seeing things.
Yeah.
Just seeing different things, like we were speaking earlier, just going in different markets and places that I had never been before, and cities that I'd never been before, and people would show up and rap my verses like I've been doing this for like 5-10 years, you know what I mean? So that is priceless. So to see that, that alone would make you go harder and want to talk about different things and speaking things. And just really what's just going on in the world was so twisted, but it's still joy in it because I'm around my people every day. I'm around my family every day. But when you watch the news, it's like, that perfect balance. So you're able to talk about many different things, content-wise. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of the content, and I mean, really going in depth with what's going on in the world, that sing-along, I mean, it's kind of like anti-what's now, okay?
Right.
Talk to me about putting that kind of record together. And, I mean, what gives you the courage to go ahead and speak in such a way that might not be agreeable to a lot of different folks out here, man?
I feel like nobody else is doing it. Everybody's so buddy-buddy. It's so much camaraderie, and everybody just sticking together. Everybody's scared of the next artist or scared to say this because they're not going to be cool. Or I want to fit in with this crowd. I want to do a record with this person to help myself. Nah, it's not even about you at the end of the day. It's about the culture and what's right for the culture. So, all that stuff is cool. I'm not opposed to it. I wasn't saying that pointing the finger. I was saying that, I indulge in it too. I like it too, but it can't oversaturate, every time we turn on the TV, this is on TV. That's like the worst thing ever for me. I got people that grow up that, it's certain people that I know I got nieces and nephews be like, yo, Pac, who is Tupac? Who is this? Who is that? But certain other records. So I feel like that's our responsibility as people of this culture to pass down that knowledge and pass down that talent of people, to know your history, to do your homework on certain people. And like I said, I'm just here to carry the torch and speak and be the person that's saying something different when everybody's talking about the same thing. That's my job as an artist, to speak for people who can't speak or say certain things.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely said that. I mean, but luxury vintage rap, though.
Yeah.
You got with Organized Noize on that, and I mean, exactly what you were just talking about. Those guys were some of the ones that ushered in a new flavor at a time where folks were shooting and killing and bouncing and stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So talk to me what it was like about being in the studio with those guys.
Man, these guys made like the soundtrack to my life at one point.
Come on.
With all the Outkast albums, Goody Mob, and all of this stuff that they were doing, even down to like, TLC and In Vogue with the Don't Let Go record. These records were like the soundtrack to my life when I was a kid. These were like some of the first images that I ever saw hip hop wise. So
that's right.
To be in the studio and be able to work and create with these guys is like, you can't pay for that, man. You can't pay for that. You can only pray and work for that. So to be in there with them and get that knowledge and get that type of music and, just take yourself out of what you do normally and what you're so used to, and be able to feed off, legendary people. So that
Talk
was
to me
great.
about the game that they gave you, though, man. Because I mean, when you grow up listening to these folks, and then you find yourself in Andre 3 Stack's shoes, dealing with the same producers that he dealt with,
Man,
what goes
amazing.
through your mind, and what is it that you take from that situation?
I never forget, like Ray Murray. I was going through beats, and I was like, "Yo, this is a sample. I don't want to rap over this." He was like, "Yo, you figure that out later. You rap. You say what you got to say. That's the most important thing. We're here for you. We're here for you, and so you need to say what you got to say. We'll figure everything else out later. Don't limit yourself because something else is in the way. If you got something to say it. Everything else is secondary to that."
See, that's cold. Now, when it comes to your creative process, though, how do you figure out what you're gonna say, though, Nick? Because I mean, you could be saying all kinds of stuff, but is it a case of you got to go out on tour and explore a few different things to have something to say, or is it just flat out creativity that you got waking up in the morning?
Man, I feel like people say it's like not enough hours in a day. I feel like it's so many hours in a day. You just have to be mindful of what you're going through.
Yeah.
So if you're mindful of what you're going through, it could be one line that inspired me to say 20 more, and that's a song right there. And that's progression. So you got to just, I think the number one thing is just being mindful of what you're going through in your situations and your experiences. And it may not even be you. It might be somebody else that's going through something, and you might can take it and put it in words. That goes back to, again, being an artist, you have to say different things that people aren't able to say. So you might I might take something that you went through. We might have a conversation.
Exactly.
And be able to draw from that and write a whole record about it.
True enough.
And make it seem like it's me, but it might be the next man going through that.
How was your interaction with your fans, man, when you see them? And I mean, because see, when you come up with those lyrics, you're going to touch a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how are people reacting to Nick when they see him in the street?
I mean, for me, man, it was like a point where I was just in my room writing rhymes that nobody could hear. Yep. Rolling up pennies to eat, poor, hungry, and still chasing it. So to make music and people come to you and be like, "Yo, that line touched me," yo, this line was amazing. Like, how did you come up with that? That was genius. Like, to not let the music go in vain is like, again, priceless. You can't pay for these things. So to see that and to see these people like being touched and being vulnerable and saying, it takes a certain type of courage to walk up to somebody and say, "Yo, this changed my life," or "Yo, this was dope." Yeah. So that that's like perpetually appreciated. You can't pay for it, man.
With the fans, though, what kind of stories do you got in your interaction with the fans, though? Because sometimes, this internet, you got a lot of Twitter gangsters, YouTube gangsters that just are waiting on Nick Grant to drop some more music so they can go out there and hate on it.
Right.
How you dealing with that? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. For the most part, I feel like I'm still working to reach that level where, people always say, "Yo, you're so underrated. You're so underrated. How does that feel to be underrated?" That's like the most thing that bothers me. It's nothing nobody can say. I done been through so much that it's nothing nobody can say to, tear me down. So, but the thing that gets to me is the most is the underrated thing. I think for me, it's the thing of just being unfound. So I just have to keep working. But other than that, man, you can't pay that no attention. You can't pay that no mind. You just gotta keep moving forward. That's part of the territory.
Now, earlier you was talking about coming up as a kid and a youngster, jamming, rubbing a few nickels together to go get something to eat, locking up in the room and just getting busy. How do you feel now when you look up and it's a check behind what you're doing? And how do you stay hungry when it's not the same situation no more?
Don't pay attention to the check. Just keep working. Look back 20 years later and watch what you accomplished. I never pay attention to the money. I don't do it for the money. The money is good and it helps, and but I never did it for that. If I did it for the money, I would have quit 10, 15 years ago. I would have never fell in love with it in the first place if I did it for the money.
But I'm sorry, Nick, you have to keep your eye on your money, and I don't see you not looking at that money and not cheesing a little bit.
Yeah, not even looking at it. Like I said, I'd be a fool to say the money wasn't good, and that's something that I strive to have, but it's not for that. My thing is lift as you climb. Meaning once you get in position, you can help somebody else up. It's not about me. It's about somebody else and who I can affect. My blessing is through that.
How many of your partners have you been able to put on along the way as you've been growing now?
Man, I just never had a lot of friends. I got 2 people that just been with me since day one as far as like all my friends are concerned. But, they good. They very supportive. Like
exactly.
We it's not even about the music with them, We from years back, decades of friendship. So it's like, man, like nothing. they never asked me for anything.
Yeah.
They never asked me for anything. They don't even have to, but it's just what it is, man. It's just our friendship. So it's beyond music, it's beyond money, it's beyond fame, it's beyond whatever somebody else feel about me. It's beyond that. So
Exactly.
you know, it's just solid friendship.
When I listen to the music though, Nick, you make it look effortless.
Right.
Okay, so I mean, when you breaking down these bars, I mean, how are you breaking them down? Are you just saying, you know what, I'm gonna just pull a Jay-Z and go ahead and go
right
and just go crazy? Are you writing these things down? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Creative process. Break that down to
I'm
me.
definitely writing them down.
Okay.
I write them in my phone, but for
Yeah.
me, I'm the pen and pad guy. It's traditional. You know, I got to be in a room to myself and just write. But, you know, everything I write ain't the most amazing thing, I feel like. So it's a process. It's a process of creating the best work, you know. But it's also a combination of how I was raised because I put my heart in it too.
Exactly.
But it's also a combination of the stuff that I was exposed to musically, like the people that I grew up listening to. So it was a combination of who I am, the person that God made me, the people that God put in my life to put me on to different things, and also the music that I was listening to as a kid. So, and the genuine love that I have for the music and the culture. So.
When it comes down to confidence in doing what you do and being out here in the streets,
Right.
how do you maintain that? Has there ever been a time where Nick was like, you know what? I'm about to go in the studio with Organized Noize. Am I going to snap hard enough on this track?
Yeah.
Or I'm about to perform in front of this crowd. Am I going to really, do I remember all these lyrics I've been
Right,
spitting?
yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Man, for me, it's no pressure in that. I've been doing it for so long. It's like, I'm gonna say the hardest line I ever rapped just to impress these guys. That's my thing. That's like an added confidence. Like I'm in here with them, so I'm about to say the best thing to make them feel like, oh, I'm one of the new up and coming guys, one of the new hottest guys out right now. So, you know, and hopefully they just have nothing but good things to say about me. But when I leave there, just know that I gave my best with being in there with them. So.
Now I know that BET, they got you.
Yeah.
For a documentary. I mean, talk to me about that. And how did that whole thing come about?
Man, like you said, like, I remember we did an interview and you was like, yo, is there any mental fatigue?
Yeah.
It's definitely not a mental fatigue, but I felt like getting with BET, they did a documentary on me about where I grew up and where I live. So going back there was like, I needed that as far as like to help me grow, to show like, yo, I got in this position, but you know, don't forget these old feelings that you used to have. Yeah. That keeps you hungry as well. So I definitely needed that, seeing like where I came from. And, you know, it's always somebody willing to take your spot. So you got to be on your toes all the time. So seeing that just let me know that I never want to be back in that position.
Exactly. I mean, being back there, though, because, I mean, what were some of the emotions that you found yourself harboring over that time? Because sometimes we suppress a lot of this stuff. You see what I'm
for
saying?
sure. Absolutely.
I took my wife back to the hood one day. She wanted to cry all the way up and down the street. Like, I ain't realized it with this best stuff over here.
Yeah.
But talk to me about that.
Oh, man, it was like me, man. You know, my grandmother raised me, so I was like standing outside of her apartment. I went back to like the very first, you know, place that I ever lived, and all those emotions came back. I hadn't been there since, you know, so
you serious?
Been there since. So to see that and see all those things and, you know, stuff that I remembered and stuff that was different is like, man, you know, I know somebody in that city is still going through those same things. So it's my job to either put them in a better position by inspiring them or going back and help. So, yeah. Exactly. But I definitely needed it to grow. Grow and be a different.
Because, I mean, how many bars did you get out of that situation when you went back in there?
I came back home and wrote songs like, my man's right here. Like, the songs that I wrote when I left there, he haven't even heard. Nobody's heard them.
That's cold.
And how I am, I don't want nobody to hear them till they hear it and be like, yo, I was there when that happened. So, you know, this is like honest and authentic and this is real. I want people to be excited about it. And when they hear it for the first time, they be able to know. Like it's
when
real
it comes to those bars, because see, sometimes as a creative, them bars just might hit you at the spur of the moment. Do you ever say, you know what, I'm gonna hold these two bars here,
man,
so when I hit them with this, they ain't gonna even be able to handle it.
Yeah, sometimes, but I feel like sometimes I take bars back and be like, yo, I'm gonna say this right here and keep this. This is too good. I'm gonna give it. I want to put it to something else, but man, I feel like you doubt yourself when you do stuff like that.
Ooh.
You know, it's like it's like equivalent to like a football player. I used to watch like the humble football player score knowing he was going to do it again so he wouldn't celebrate.
Yeah.
As opposed to the person that rarely scores and they, oh, my God. greatest celebration ever or the silliest celebration ever. But I attribute it to that just being great as far as giving them when I feel like it's need to be said. You know, you got to say it when it's in your heart. So
when you think about the growth that you have experienced, I mean, how do you feel about that? Coming out of the country, you see what I'm saying? Coming into the city, walking around and working and just really getting it out the mud. You see what I'm saying? A lot of folks, they don't get it out the mud.
Yeah.
They get it handed to them. You see what I'm saying? You got to come in here. You got to figure things out. You got to find folks. Got to get your own connections and allies and stuff. How do you feel being where you are now, coming from where you came from, though?
Man, I feel amazing, man. Like, this is like a dream come true. Like, some days I got to pinch myself. And, you know, I'm not the rapper that come up and be like, yeah, I've been doing this. I've been had money before this. I'm not that guy at all, you know. My thing was, man, whatever I got to go through to get this, long as I ain't compromising who I am, compromising my integrity, selling my soul to get to a certain place, I'm cool.
That's right.
Let's do that. Let's make it happen. Whatever I got to do. If I don't sleep, if I don't eat, if I got to work a regular job to save money, I wasn't in the streets like that. That's not my life. That was never my life. My life was, you know, being raised by people that love me and treat it right and, you know, being able to speak and pull your pants up and shake people's hands with firm handshakes. I was the regular guy.
Yeah.
So to get into position, like I said, if I wasn't compromising who I was as a person.
See, that's what I was going to get at there, too. Because, see, it takes a strong man not to compromise.
Yeah,
okay?
Absolutely.
A lot of folks come in this game, it don't matter what side you own, they compromise everything. Integrity, dignity, they throw all of that out the window for $1.
Absolutely.
So what is it that keeps you grounded?
Man, it's just, like I said, it goes back to the way no arrogant stuff or no ego. That's just how God made me. That's just how my grandmother and grandfather raised me. I'm grateful. Some days I didn't have stuff, so you know, I always knew in the back of my mind I'm gonna work to get whatever I want. You know, and that's just how I was taught. If you want it, you gotta go work for it. Don't take it. Don't steal it. Don't, you know, nobody's gonna give it to you. You gotta work for it, and that's just always been my thing.
I can definitely dig that. Lastly, what's next for you, Nick?
Man, just working this Return of the Cool project, Stephen Colbert. I'm doing that Monday. Yes, a platform that you can't pay for. So I'm just excited, man. Life is like amazing. I'd be a fool to complain.
I mean, if I recall correctly, I think I saw Amir post something about ESPN.
ESPN, yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, ESPN. Yeah, we just went up there to visit.
Okay, I was just making sure y'all wasn't doing the most behind my back.
Oh, no. It might be something else in the works, but yeah, it might be something else. But yeah, we did Inside Stuff with Grant Hill.
Talk to me about that because, see, you know, growing up watching that Inside Stuff, that was that Saturday morning good stuff, man. Come on, man.
Ahmad Rashad, man.
Exactly.
Every Saturday for sure. The intro with Shaq would hang on the rim and fall was like the craziest thing ever. So to be on that show, you know, premiering my record with Grant Hill, you know, we used to kill and fight, beat people up for the shoes. Which was like, man. So to be on there with him and have him introduce my record with me is like, you know, a dream.
Now, Nick, when you talk about dreams coming true, man, realizing dreams, can you share that experience with me? Because there's a lot of people out here that have dreams.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of dreams deferred, man.
Absolutely.
They never get a chance to realize that. For you, what is it like when you feel yourself touching them and experiencing them?
Man, just even early on for me, man, like when you say the term dream deferred, I think of it like, you know, a travesty in a sense because you have so much in your heart and you want to pursue it. But, you know, the fear of it not working out or, you know, the lack of work ethic don't make dreams happen. So I feel like a dream is just, you know, something in thin air if you don't go out and chase it or you don't go out and work for it. It's not even a dream. It's, you know, it's some people out here that are already living what you aspire to have. So it's not even a dream. It's just something that you have to work for and get in position to do.
When you realize that it takes a lot more work than you thought that it was going to take, how does that feel when you achieve those goals and you get there? You're like, I'm a little tired.
Man, like I always say like if I knew how long it was going to take, I would have been gave up.
Exactly.
So if you knew like, man, I've been rapping for so long, man, like just being in my room and writing rhymes and writing to other people beats and writing stuff that people would never hear thinking next year somebody's going to hear this and put me on. Like, But if I really knew how long it was gonna take, I wouldn't even be sitting here talking to you, bro.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm glad I didn't know. So
exactly.
yeah.
How can folks contact you, Nick?
Oh man, all social media platforms. Nick Grant Music, NickGrant Music. Yep.
I can definitely dig it. Anything else you want to get off your chest, my
Man,
dog?
the whole Coach Republic family, man. I love you guys. Thank you for everything. Jason, Shaka, Amir, everybody. The whole Epic Record staff, Latrice, Courtney, etc. Man, my man, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I don't take nothing for granted.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
I can definitely dig it. But Nick,
man,
appreciate you coming through this, my dog. Wish you nothing but the best and much success.
Likewise, bro. Thank you too for just giving me the platform to talk about my story, my life, my ideas, my music. Man.
When it comes to the music, though, man, when you see somebody that really got talent, that's really getting busy, I have no choice but to open up the door because that is the job. You see what I'm saying? And that's what folks don't understand. A lot of times when you see a lot of talented people, they'll quit because folks will try to shut the door on them because they just don't want to see nobody blow up. But in your case, when you see that talent that you haven't seen in 20 years, is once in a lifetime coming through this thing, you got to open it up and say, hey, man, hurry up and get up through here and change the world. Period, point blank.
For sure.
Be High Radio, shout it. It's our 1079, man. Let's go.